So today we are going to start with new topic called Goodwill, and this is a very easy and simple topic. But one thing what we have to remember is the various methods in calculating goodwill. What we are going to learn under this chapter will be used in the upcoming chapters like change in profit sharing ratio, or in admission of a partner, or in case of retirement of a partner, and also death of a partner. So we have various methods of goodwill, and we have also got different types of goodwill. So we'll start right from the basics. What is goodwill is all about. Then we'll discuss the types of goodwill, and then we'll discuss its accounting treatment, and then we'll also discuss about the journal entries what we have with respect to goodwill recording, and the formulas with respect to different methods in calculating the goodwill, and by this you will have a clear cut clarity all about goodwill. Now let me kickstart the process. So first it says goodwill. Goodwill is nothing but it is the good name. Okay, it is nothing but the good name of an organization or the business. Okay, in other words, we say this as a reputation. In other words, we call this as reputation of the business. In general, this goodwill is considered to be as an intangible asset. Okay, it is an intangible asset, which means you can only feel this asset, you cannot touch or you cannot see. Okay, so goodwill is an intangible asset, but it is not a fictitious asset. Okay, it is not a fictitious asset. This we have to keep in our mind. Okay, goodwill is an intangible asset, but it is not a fictitious asset. Okay, they can ask this as an MCQ question, like true or false, or they can ask you as an okay, fill in the blanks or choose. Right. In this chapter, we have an accounting standard which is named as AS 26. There is an accounting standard which we call it as AS 26. AS stands for Accounting Standards. In your grade 11, you will learn various accounting standard. Okay, but we are not going to deal with all those accounting standards. We are going to deal with one particular accounting standard in this chapter. Okay, accounting standard AS 26. This accounting standard AS 26, it deals with goodwill. Okay, it deals with a goodwill. That means it provides a basic guidelines with respect to the treatment of goodwill. So what is the deals with goodwill? Is nothing but provides the guidelines. Okay, accounting is AS 26, it provides the guidelines for recording and treatment of goodwill. Okay, if you ask what is the types of goodwill or how many types of goodwill are there, basically goodwill. Okay, we have got two types. They are number one, it is called as purchased goodwill. One type of goodwill is purchased goodwill, and the second type of goodwill is self generated goodwill. These are the only two different types of goodwill. Now, this accounting standard AS 26, it says that in our books of accounts we have to record only the purchased goodwill. Okay, so purchased goodwill should be recorded. Okay, purchased goodwill should be recorded in the books of accounts. Okay, as per AS 26. So AS 26, as I said, it gives the guidelines with respect to the goodwill treatment and validation, everything. So it says very clearly you are supposed to record only the purchased goodwill in our books of accounts. Whereas the self-generated goodwill, which we are going to find out in this chapter, will not be recorded in the books of accounts. So self-generated goodwill should not be recorded. Self-generated goodwill should not be recorded in the books of accounts as per AS 26 guidelines. Any doubt up to this? If you have, please let me know.
No, sir. All clear, sir.
Okay. Now, what is this purchase goodwill if you ask? Basically, when one particular business has been taken over by another business, we will be taking up all their assets along with the liabilities, whatever the business has got. And you will also have to pay some amount to that particular vendor in the name of purchase consideration. When you compare the value of assets, total assets, and the value of total liabilities, it won't be equal. There will be an indifference between these two values. This indifference amount is what we will be denoting either as goodwill or we will be denoting as capital reserve. Now let us discuss about the purchase goodwill. Okay, so how to identify whether it is a purchase goodwill or not? Purchase goodwill type of problem will be basically journal based problem. So when you are going to pass a journal entry for a purchase of business, then those type of problems comes under the purchase goodwill category. Okay, for example, for example, there is a business A, B, and C. Okay, there are partners. We call them as A, B, and Co. Okay, A, B, and Co. have taken over. Okay, A, B, and Co. have taken over the running business of X, Y, and Co. Okay, it is given the question that A, B, and Co. have taken over the business of X, Y, and Co. And along with this they are also given you some information. Okay, what is this information is the amount A, B, and Co have taken over the business of X, Y, and Co for rupees 5 lakhs along with the following assets, along with the following assets and liabilities, along with the following assets and liabilities. With respect to assets, they are given you the following information: furniture rupees 50,000, stock rupees 2 lakhs. Then with respect to one more assets called debtors rupees 3 lakh 50. Okay, and then followed by this they also given you liabilities. Okay, with respect to liabilities they are given you outstanding salary. Okay, value of rupees 3 lakhs, and also with this sundry creditors amounting to rupees 1 lakh. Now, this is what the information they are given to us. AB and Co have taken over the running business or taken over the business of XY and Co for an amount of rupees 5 lakhs along with the following assets and liabilities. The amount is being paid by check is given an add-on information. Okay, the amount is paid to the vendor through check. Okay, the amount is paid or settled through check. These are information given to us. Now, in this problem, you see the key terms. If you see the key terms are assets, the key term is a liability, and then okay, they are said for rupees 5 lakhs. Sometimes they will add one more key term along with this 5 lakh for a purchase consideration of rupees 5 lakh. Okay, if this can be one way. If not, they can change this sentence in such a way like A, B, and so have taken over the business of X, Y, and Co. Okay, for a purchase consideration of for a purchase consideration for a purchase consideration of rupees 5 lakh. So that means one more key term, purchase consideration. So these are the key terms which you will be coming across when you are dealing with the problem under purchase consideration, that is purchase goodwill. Okay, key terms with respect to purchase goodwill. Okay, these are the key words you will be finding in the question. Always remember, assets, whatever is given in the question, will be debited. Liability, whatever given the question, will be credited. So assets should be debited and liability should be credited. The value of purchase consideration. This amount you will be paying to whom if you ask to the vendor. This purchase consideration will be paid to the person called vendor, that is seller of the business. Okay, this amount will be paid to the person who is going to sell the business. Now, in my given example, you just see to it who is acquiring the business from whom. That means who is the buyer, who is the seller. A, B, and Co. have taken over the business of X, Y, and Co. for a purchase
A and
consideration of
B are
rupees.
the buyers, sir. X
Very
and
good.
Co are the givers.
So that means A, B, and Co. Okay, this particular person will be the buyer, and X, Y, and Co. They are the seller. So obviously the amount, okay, vendor, seller is always called as vendor. Okay, so these two words are referred to the same person. Vendor-nalum ஒண்ணுனா seller-nalum ஒண்ணு. அப்ப the purchase consideration amount, okay, in the case of particular to whom I should pay to the person called X, Y, and Co, right? So now any amount which is to be paid, okay, still now I have not paid, it is yet to be paid, it is coming under liability. So the amount of purchase consideration is yet to be paid to the vendor, it has not been paid. So that means any amount which is being mentioned as purchase consideration, that is also to be paid, so it should be credited. Now we are going to find out, okay, whether this will lead to a goodwill or it's going to be a capital reserve. Now this is the ultimate result. Okay, with respect to purchase goodwill, we have got two different results. What are those results? If you ask, you may end up with goodwill, or you may get something called as capital reserve. When you say there's a goodwill means, okay, for example, the total debit value, we are getting an amount, say for example 10 lakhs, and the total credit value is coming to an amount of rupees 12 lakhs. Now if you look at this total, debit and credit must be equal at any point of time because we are following double entry system of accounting. Okay, we are following the dual aspect, debit and credit. So here there is a shortage, there is a shortage. How much is the shortage value? Shortage value comes to an amount of rupees. 2 lakhs.
Yes, sir.
And this shortage value of rupees 2 lakh is appearing in debit or in the credit?
Credit, sir.
It is appearing in the debit or credit. 2 lakhs shortage are getting in debit or in the
Debit,
credit.
sir. Debit, sir. Debit,
Very
sir.
good.
Shortage.
It is getting in debit. If suppose a shortage of this 2 lakh is appearing in debit, then we will declare it as goodwill. Okay, we have declared as goodwill. On the other hand, okay, let us take one more example. Okay, the second example is suppose your total debit value is rupees 12 lakhs and your total credit value comes to rupees 10 lakhs now. Just reverse of it. Now again you have a shortage. Okay, shortage value is rupees 2 lakh. This shortage of 2 lakh is appearing in which side? Debit side or the credit side?
Credit side, sir.
Credit side. If that is the case, then the 2 lakh will be denoted as capital reserve. Okay, so that is the ultimate result what we'll get with respect to goodwill. Okay, in the concept of purchase goodwill. Okay, so capital reserve எப்போ வரும் and then when will you get the value of your goodwill? This is a classic example of it. Now, in my example, as I given it here, let us also find out whether are we getting the value of goodwill or are we getting the value of capitalism. So now what needs to be done? You have to pass a journal entry. Remember, whenever you are following the procedure, do it with the respective format. So you have to pass journal. So date column, particulars column, LF column, debit with respect to rupees, and also credit with amount. Now, since the date I have not mentioned the question, leave the date column blank and then you have the list of assets. So this is an asset, furniture is an asset, stock is an asset, data is an asset. So three assets you are taking up. You have to record the assets one below the other. So first write them. Okay, furniture, stock and data. So it will be as furniture account debit followed by that stock account is debit followed by that debtors account is debit. Now apart from this you don't have any other okay value of assets. Straight away you're moving on to your liabilities. So outstanding salary is a liability, sundry creditor is a liability, but these two alone is not a liability. As I already given here, the purchase consideration should also be taken into account, which is a liability yet to be paid. So according to that, here that value is 5 lakhs, which I should pay to the person X, Y, and Co. So I'm going to record it. But please, whenever you are completed with your asset, just leave one line and then from the second line you start recording your liability and say why and what is the background reason is. So the recording of liability to outstanding salary account to sundry creditors account and the purchase condition you're paying to a person called XY and Co. So to XY and Co account. Now fill the values. Furniture value is rupees 50,000, stock is 2 lakh and 3 lakh 50,000. Okay, so here 50, 2 lakh 50,000 I think so. 2 lakh, okay.
2 lakh only.
Yeah, 2 lakh and 3 lakh 50.
3 lakh 50 years.
2 lakh, 3 lakh 50. Now the value of liabilities. So 3 lakh, 1 lakh, 5 lakh. Okay, so record it over here. 3 lakh, 1 lakh, 5 lakh. Now you find out the total of debit and total of credit. You are getting 50,000 plus 2 lakh is 2 lakh 50, 2 lakh
4
50
lakhs, sir.
plus, hey, 2,
Ah,
2
sorry,
lakh
9 lakh
50
now.
plus 3 lakh 50, 6
6
lakhs.
lakh
3
now.
lakh, sir. Okay, okay.
Okay, 3 lakh 50 plus 50 is 4 lakh, 4 lakh plus 2 lakh, 6 lakhs. So debit
6
total is
lakh,
coming to
6
6
lakhs.
lakh. Credit total it
6
comes
lakh.
to
3, 4,
See, 8,
9 lakhs,
9
sir.
lakh,
9 lakhs.
9 lakhs.
So here you see in the debit, okay, you are getting 6 lakhs rupees, and in the credit you are getting an amount of rupees 9 lakh. So which side is heavier?
Credit side.
Credit
Credit side
side
is
is
heavier.
more, sir.
Okay, so you are getting a shortage of rupees 3 lakhs in which side?
Debit.
Debit side.
Debit side.
Debit side.
So if that be the case, then we have to record it with the name of Goodwill. Okay, so for that purpose only, I have asked you to leave one line. Okay, so that we can able to just join it here. If we are not doing that and you record it simultaneously, then you can't introduce once again. You have to scroll it out, and once again you have to redo the process. So whenever you are going to pass the journal entry for the purchase goodwill type of problem, once you complete your asset, leave one line and then you start recording the liabilities so that it will make a process easier. You may ask, what will be the case if it is going to be a capital reserve? No problem. That capital reserve we can write either towards the last over here, okay, as a balance figure, so it looks appealing. ஒரு லைனை விட்டு எழுதுன மாதிரி இருக்கும், பிரச்சனை கிடையாது. ஓகே,
Okay,
நம்ம அங்கே
okay, sir.
சிஸ்டம் செக் பண்ணோம், நடுவில் ஒரு லைன் இன்சர்ட் பண்ணிக்கலாம். ஓகே, ஸோ ஹியர் goodwill account has been debited with the value of rupees 3 lakhs. For this, you will write the narration mentioning that being the assets and liabilities of XYZ taken up by ABC and Co. Okay, and after passing this, you should also ensure that you are making the payment also, because it was mentioned in the question the amount is settled through check. So, to whom you are going to settle the amount? To the vendor. So, what amount you are going to settle? The value of rupees 5 lakhs. So, you are going to pass one more entry after this. To whom you are going to pay? To X, Y, and Co. Okay, so X, Y, and Co account is debited to. Since I used the word check, you have to use your bank account. To bank account. The amount payable to X, Y, and Co is rupees 5 lakh. So it should be as 5 lakh, 5 lakh. And the narration for this is being the purchase consideration paid to the vendors through check. That's it. Okay, so without narration, if you are passing a journal entry, they won't give you full marks, they'll cut the marks. And without the proper format and heading, if you're just recording only the journal, then even for it, they'll cut the marks. So please, whenever you're following any journal, have this as a habit, date, particulars, LF, debit and credit. Yes, of course,
Sir.
most important thing which you should be as a heading is you have to record journal entries. Okay, journal entries in the books of, these entries are recording in the books of AB and Co. Okay, so this
Sir,
should be,
what
yeah.
will be the narration for this furniture constructor conductor?
Okay, for this the narration can be as being the assets and liabilities of XY and Co taken over by AB and Co. Okay, so you can write the narration as, okay, being the assets and liabilities of XY and Co taken over, okay, by AB and Co. This can be the narration which you can follow for the first one. Okay. Whereas for the second one, okay, whereas for the second one, the integral, just For the second one, you can just write ahead narration as being purchase consideration paid by check. Clear? Clear? This is the pattern on this is the question only type of question which will come with respect to purchase goodwill. Okay, the rest all of the goodwill what we are going to work out right now is purely a self-generated goodwill. So self-generated goodwill will be okay the goodwill which you have been developed or which is being okay brought into the usage through the year over years sales through your quality services and other okay attributes to the business. So the self-generated goodwill is the one which the business has generated so far out of the business activity. Okay, so it has been purchased from someone, whereas self-generated is nothing but your business has earned a good name to your business through quality services, through your hospitality to your customers, and also the affordable price what you have kept, the area of operation. Okay, that is the hub what you have selected. There are various factors that leads to the promotion of goodwill, which you will be learning in your theory concept. Okay, so now we are going to see the second category that is self-generated goodwill. So under this goodwill only, okay, self-generated goodwill, we have the different methods. Okay, under this we'll be learning okay methods for calculating goodwill. So self-generated is nothing but you are going to apply some methods, okay, on the profits what we have earned so far or on the losses what we have suffered so far throughout our business over a period of time, and you are going to generate the value. So it is purely based on some calculations. So self-generated goodwill, you have some methods for calculating goodwill. When I say methods for calculating goodwill, basically we have got three methods. Okay, basically we have got three methods. What are they? The first method we call it as
Simple.
simple, okay, average method, okay, or average profit method. We'll say okay, we'll say it as okay, average profit method. The second method we will call it
Super
as
profit method.
super profit method,
Weighted average
and the
method.
third method we call it as capitalization method. Okay, so average profit method, super profit method, and capitalization method are the three methods which we have in the goodwill topic for calculating the goodwill value of the business under the self-generated concept. Now, when I talk about the average profit method, under this category, we have got two bifurcation. One we call it as simple average. Okay, one we call it as simple average. The second one using your weighted average. So under average profit method, there are two subdivisions. One is simple average, other is weighted average. Under the super profit method, there is no such deviations. There is no such bifurcation. Super profit method is only one. Okay. When you come to the capitalization method, again this method is further divided into two categories. One is capitalization of okay, one we call it as capitalization of average profit. Capitalization of average profit. The second one we call it as capitalization of super profit. These are the two different categories under the capitalization method. Okay, now let us try to explore the formulas under each of these methods. So once if we know the formula, then only we'll be able to work out the problem without any difficulties. But before that, one thing we have to understand is when we are going to work out the problem in each of these cases, okay, the problems are of two types. Okay, in each of these categories, I'm saying, for example, if you're going to work out any problem where you're going to apply the simple average method to derive the goodwill, you can expect two varieties of problem. Similarly, by applying a weighted average profit method when you are going to calculate goodwill, you can expect two different varieties of problem. In the same way, when you are going to apply the super profit method to derive your goodwill value, you have two different varieties of problem. And last but not the least, even by using the capitalization method, whether capitalization of average profit or capitalization of super profit, under each of these categories, you have two varieties of problem. The two varieties are very simple. One, problems without adjustments. Okay, problems without adjustments. That means you will be given a number of years profits along with losses or only profits, whereby none of the years profit will have any adjustments to be worked out. That means you can take those profits as such, substitute in the formula, get the value, and proceed further. The second category of the problems are problems with adjustments. Problems with adjustment. So when you come across problems with adjustments, obviously a particular year or a series of years will be given to you, and adjustments will also be pertaining to any one particular year in the given series of the years, or it could be to a list of years, 2 3 years, and each of the year will have some adjustments which either has to be added or it should be subtracted. So when it says adjustment, just keep in your mind, okay, either it should be added, okay, with the year's profit or loss. Respect to year's profit or loss. Either you'll add, okay, add it with the year's profit or with the year's loss, or you'll have to subtract from the year's profit or loss. There is a table which we need to follow with respect to adjustments. I'll explain those table in detail. Don't worry about it. As of now, just keep in mind that problems can be of two types: with adjustment and without adjustment. When I say with adjustment, obviously either we need to add that item or we have to subtract item with that particular year's profit or loss. That's quite simple. Okay. Now let's go for the formulas. Any doubt up to this to anyone?
Awesome.
Okay. Now let's take up the list of formulas. The formula first we are going to see for average profit method.
Total profit by
Okay.
number of years.
So in this method, average profit method, first we are going to see for the simple average. So here you have to go step by step. The first step is calculate your total profit. Okay, first you calculate your total profit. Okay, that total profit you have to divide it by your number of years. Okay, so first you are going to find out your simple average. Okay, so that means average profit. Okay, so for average profit, this is the formula. Okay, total profit divided by number of years. Once you have got this, you will go for the goodwill calculation. Okay, just okay. First, you will calculate your average profit, another simple average, and then the second one you will go and obtain your goodwill. Okay, so goodwill, if they are given the question, you have to be very careful. You have to read the question whether they are given purchases or times. That means if suppose they are given purchases, then the goodwill will be calculated in such a way like goodwill is equal to your average profit into number of years purchases. Suppose if the question is said the goodwill is to be valued at twice or thrice, okay, if they are given something in that way, okay, goodwill is to be valued at twice the average profit or thrice the average profit, then they are denoting the times. So in that case, you will be using such a way that average profit into number of times. So you have to read the question carefully. If they give a number of years purchase, then use this formula, write the formula and then substitute the values. Without writing the formula straight away, if you go and substitute the value, you are losing one step or you're skipping one step. For that purpose, the evaluator has got all the rights to curtail the marks, because accountancy and mathematics are the two subjects where you can claim for the step marks. So if you are going to directly derive the value without writing the formula, teacher has got all the powers to cut the marks. You can't go and claim her or him. Very clearly, I'm saying it right now. Okay, whomsoever it is, they'll follow this rule very clearly. Now, if it is a times, then average profit the number of times. Any doubt in this one? The first one, clear? Hello.
Sorry, sir. My mic was at off. Yes,
Okay.
sir. No doubt, sir.
Okay. Now I'm moving on to the second category under that. Okay, the second category under the formula we are going to see is weighted average profit. Usually, when you're going to work out the problems under the weighted average profit, you have to ensure two things. Number one, okay, number of years, number of years, okay, given in the question. Okay, number of years given the question as a series. That means example, they are given you like this 2019, 20, 2020, 21. Okay, 2021, 22, 2022, 23, 2023 to 24. Say for example, like this, they are given a series of years. Now, tell me how many series are there in this given question or in this given example?
5 years is one.
Five. Okay, there are totally five series there. So that means when you're going to work out a weighted average profit under this concept, first ensure how many series are given to you, and the total number of series is going to be the number of weights. So that means in this you have got five. So that means your maximum weight five is nothing but five is your maximum weight which is to be allocated. Okay, now how am I going to fix up the weight is the least weight. That means 5 means when it starts from 1. never to start with 0. Okay, so the least is from 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and finally 5. These are the weights which we have to assign. Why I'm saying this is, in some of the question they will be giving it to you directly, stating that the weights have to be assigned in such a way: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, least weight to the recent, I mean to the least year, and the greatest weight to the recent year. Such type of conditions they may give it straight away the question. Or in some of the question, they'll say using the weighted average profit method, calculate the amount of goodwill, but they will not give you any clues like what is the weight, minimum weight and the maximum weight, whether it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or what, and which weight has to be assigned to which particular year. So you can be given a problem giving everything quite ready-madely. This particular value to be assigned to this particular year, this value to that particular year. Like that, they may give it straight away in the question, or else they may just give you these are the series of the years using the weighted average profit method derive the goodwill value. And again, this is one pattern of giving the series of years. If not, they may give you the series of years in such a way that 31st of March 2020, 31st of March 21, 31st of March 22, 31st of March 23, 31st of March 24. So like this also they can give it to you. And one more chance and probability is they may either start from the ascending and they may end up in descending. This is one pattern. Or the other pattern is they may start with the descending and end up in ascending. Say for example, starting with 31st of March 23, 31st of March 22, 31st of March 21, 31st of March 20, and 31st of March 19. ஸோ இப்போது உங்களுக்கு அசெண்டிங்காகவும் கொடுக்கலாம், லைக் 19, 20, 21, 22, 23 அப்படிங்கிற சீரீஸாக கொடுக்கலாம், இல்லை பேக்வேர்ட்லேயும் கொடுக்கலாம். ஃபஸ்ட் அண்ட் ஃபோர்மோஸ்ட் எத்தனை சீரீஸ் இருக்குங்கிற கவுண்ட் வச்சுக்கோங்க. 5 இருக்குது. நீங்கள் சொல்யூஷன் ப்ரிப்பேர் பண்ணும்போது யூ ஹேவ் டு அரேஞ்ச் தம் இன் த அசெண்டிங். ஸோ 2019, 20, 21, 22, 23, and then you will assign the least weight. Okay, in that case from here you start. Okay, so அப்போ இந்த இயருக்கு 5 வரும். அப்போ 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 வரக்கூடாது, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 தான் வரணும். ஸோ நம்ம என்ன பண்ணோம், அரேஞ்ச் பண்ணுறது அந்த மாதிரி பண்ணணும். So whenever a problem is given to you with respect to weighted average question, please read the question carefully and ensure how many years are there as a series of years. Then that is a maximum weight. Then when you are going to prepare the solution, arrange that given series in the ascending order. If the problem itself is in the ascending order, then not an issue. If the problem is in the descending order, then the years to be arranged ascending, and then you start arranging or assigning the weight as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you will be calculating something called as total weights. That total weights is nothing but the product of your year's profit into the weights. So how you have to work out in this cases, you will be writing 4 to 5 columns. Okay, you'll write here years, then followed by that you'll write one column as profit or loss, then one column you'll be writing it as weights, and one column you'll be writing it as total, sorry, weighted profit. Okay, weighted profits. This is how you have the 4 columns. In this 4, this particular column and this particular column will be available in the question itself. Just you have to introduce 2 additional columns. Okay. Now in our example, let us start from this 2019, 20, 21, 22, 23. The value of profits or loss given the question. Let us take the value like 1 lakh, then 1 lakh 50, then 3 lakhs, and then 3 lakh 25. I'm just giving a rough idea, okay? A rough figures. It's all imaginary values. And finally, 4 lakhs. So these are the value of profits or losses, which is given the question. Now I'm going to assign the weights since there are only 5 years. One, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then the weighted profit you will be deriving it by multiplying the value of this column with the value of this column. So 1 lakh into 1 will be as 1 lakh. But please don't forget to write the rupees symbol for the columns also. Okay. And 1 lakh 50,000 into 2 will give you as 3 lakh rupees. 3 lakh rupees into 3 will give you an amount of rupees 9 lakh. 3 lakh 25,000 into 4. So how much you'll get? 0, 0, 0, 5 fours are 22, 4 twos are 8 plus 2, 10, 1, 4 threes are 12 plus 1, 13. So you'll be getting an amount of rupees 13 lakhs. Then 4 lakh into 5. So how much will the value? 4 lakh into 5.
20 lakhs, sir.
20 lakhs. So once you got this, you have to apply the formula. So what is the formula? First you have to calculate your weighted average profit. You have to calculate your weighted average profit. To calculate this weighted average profit, the formula is total weighted profits divided by total weights. So which means you have to add all these values that will give you an amount, and similarly you have to add all these weights that will give you a value. 1 plus 2 is 3 plus 3 is 6 plus 4 is 10 plus 5 is 15. Here 9 plus 3 is 12 plus 1 is 13, 13 plus 13 is 26, 26 plus 20 will be 46. So that means you will be getting the value in such a way like weighted average profit is 46 lakhs to be divided by 15. Okay, you may get exactly or you may get it in decimals. That is not an issue because as we taken only a rough imaginary values. Okay, the second step after this is finding out the goodwill. So for that the formula is goodwill is equal to weighted average profit into, if it is given in purchases, number of years purchases, then it will be as number of years purchases, or if the goodwill is said to be calculated in times, then the formula will just have a slight variation, that is weighted average profit into number of times. Is this clear to you? Okay. The next one. By this, we are done with our first method that's called weighted average method and the simple method. So there is average profit method is over. Now let us move on to the second method. What is the second method? If we ask, the second method is okay, super profit method. What is the second method?
Super profit.
Super profit method. Okay. This method is quite easy and it has number of formulas. You have to understand each and every formula very carefully. First, what is super profit? Okay, so super profit is nothing but it is a difference between your average profit and normal profit. Okay, super profit is equal to average profit minus
annual profit.
normal profit. So now the question might arise. So then these two values, average profit and normal profit, will it be available in the question directly? Yeah. Yes, if it is a one mark question, just to apply the formula and get the amount of super profit, they may give both the values, average profit and normal profit and they may ask you to just find out super profit, thereby substitute in the formula, get the amount. But all times don't expect everything will be given to you straightforward. Sometimes you may have to calculate it. இப்போ ஆவரேஜ் ப்ராஃபிட் கொடுத்துருந்தேன்னா நீ அதை சப்ஸ்டியூட் போட போகிற, கொடுக்கலன்னா ஆவரேஜ் ப்ராஃபிட் எப்படி கண்டுபிடிக்கிறது? ஜஸ்ட் நோ வி ஹேவ் சீன் ஆவரேஜ் ப்ராஃபிட் மெத்தட், எய்தர் சிம்பிள் ஆவரேஜ் ஆர் weighted average. Either one of that method will be applied to find out your average profit. ஸோ அப்போ ஆவரேஜ் ப்ராஃபிட் கொடுத்துருக்கலாம், கொடுக்காம இருக்கலாம். ஓகே, அப்போ when I talk about average profit, you have two probabilities. Okay, given in the question. Okay, given in question, this is one probability, or it is not given in the question. If given in the question, straight away you apply it. If it is not given in the question, then derive them, derive the value. Okay, using simple or weighted average method. Is this clear to you? First one, for super profit, the formulas average profit minus normal profit. If average profit is given, directly you substitute it. If average profit not given, then derive the value using either simple or weighted average method according to the given question, and then substitute in that place. Is it clear to you all? Coming to the second one, normal profit. Normal profit also has got two properties. Okay, can be available.
Can be
Okay, can be available in question, or okay, not available in the question. Not available in question. If it is available, okay, then directly you substitute the value in the normal profit place, get the value of super profit. If suppose the normal profit is not available in the question, then for this you have to derive it. Derive the value using this formula, using the formula. What is the formula if you ask? I'm writing the formula over here. Normal profit is equal to find out your normal profit, the question should have something called as capital employed. Okay, the capital employed is also known as capital invested. But that means these are the other alternate words which will be available in the question. But this is the main formula in which you have to substitute it. You can't replace capital employed as capital invested or any other word. But I'm saying it, the meaning of this capital employed can otherwise be mentioned in the question as capital invested. But use the correct formula and substitute the values accordingly. If suppose capital invested is not given, then the other way of expressing this capital employed is nothing but your net assets. ஸோ கேபிட்டல் எம்ப்ளாய்டு கேபிட்டல் எம்ப்ளாய்டுன்னு சொல்லலாம், கேபிட்டல் இன்வெஸ்டட்னு சொல்லலாம், இல்லை நெட் அசட்ஸுங்கிற மாதிரி கொடுத்துக்கலாம். இந்த மூணில் எப்படி கொடுத்தாலும் சரி, நமக்கு ஃபார்முலாங்கிறது பார்த்தா நார்மல் ப்ராஃபிட்டுக்கு இதான் ஃபார்முலா. நார்மல் ப்ராஃபிட் இஸ் ஈக்குவல் டு த அமௌண்ட் ஆஃப் கேபிட்டல் எம்ப்ளாய்ட் இன்டு என் RR by 100. This is the formula which you have to use it to calculate normal profit. Now you may ask, what is this NRR? NRR is nothing but it will be available in the question. It is your normal rate of return. Okay, it is nothing but the normal rate of return. Usually, all times, this normal rate of return will be given only in the terms of percentage. ஓகே அப்போ ஒரு கொஸ்டினில் சூப்பர் ப்ராஃபிட் மெத்தடில் ஏதோ ஒரு இடத்துல ஒரு பர்சன்டேஜ் சொல்லி ஒரு வேல்யூ இருக்குன்னா தட் பர்சன்டேஜ் இஸ் டினோட்டிங் யோர் என்ஆர்ஆர். ஓகே இட் இஸ் நதிங் பட் யோர் என்ஆர்ஆர். எனி டவுட் ஆஃப்டர் திஸ்? ஓகே, த நெக்ஸ்ட் ஒன் வி ஆர் இஸ் கேபிட்டல் எம்ப்ளாய்ட். சரி, இப்போ நான் இந்த சொன்ன நார்மல் ப்ராஃபிட் கண்டுபிடிக்கிறதுக்கு கேபிட்டல் எம்ப்ளாய்ட் கொடுத்துருக்கணும். கொடுத்துருந்தா டேரக்டாக சப்ஸ்டியூட் பண்ணி யூல் கெட் த வேல்யூ ஆஃப் நார்மல் ப்ராஃபிட். Once you get this normal profit, you'll go back to the old formula where you have got super profit is equal to average profit minus normal profit. You substitute here and get the value of super profit. Seri, suppose our bad luck, the question is not having the value of capital employed directly. Okay, so now we have to see for capital employed. Okay, when talk about capital employed, here also you got two combinations. Can be available, okay, can be available or it can't be available, so not available. If it is available, then you will be substituting the above formula, get the value of normal profit. If suppose this value of capital employed is not available, then you have got two approaches. You have got two approaches, that is two methods we can otherwise say it as. Okay, you have got two methods using which you can find out your capital employed. That is, one is your asset side approach, and the next one over here is liability side approach. Using any one of this side approach, you can derive the value of capital employed, provided if it is not mentioned in the question or not given in the question. Now let us try to explore the formula of this asset side approach to derive the capital employed. Capital employed is equal to the value of your total assets, which can be mentioned in the question as all assets. Okay, so total assets, but except these items should not be taken in that category. Total asset except the value of goodwill, comma, fictitious assets and non-trade investments. Non-trade investments. Okay, so if suppose the total asset is comprised of any of these value also, that means the total asset includes any one among these three or all the three are inclusive means, then those items alone you have to separate it, that is you have to deduct it, then whatever is the remaining balance, that is the exact amount of total assets which we require. So from that total assets, you have to eliminate your outside liability. Okay, from the value of the total assets, if you subtract the outside liability, you will get the amount of capital employed under the asset side approach. Now the question will arise, sir, outside liability in category என்னெல்லாம் sir include ஆகும்? Okay, what does it includes? Okay, outside liability this includes the following items: your sundry creditors or creditas. Either way, you can say. The next one is bills
payable,
payable, or otherwise we say it as trade payables. Bills payable or trade payable. The next one will be as loan or bank loan. Okay, and yes, of course, the amount of any outstanding, okay, outstanding items such as outstanding salary or wages or rent, etc. So outside liability, when I say it includes only these items: sundry creditors or creditors, bills payable or trade payable, loan or bank loan, outstanding items like salary, wages, rent, etc. The most important thing which we are not supposed to bring into the picture is capital. Capital is not an outside liability, it is an internal liability to the partner. So don't get confused with outside liability and internal liability. Internal liability example na அது capital. Okay, outside liability இதெல்லாம் தான் examples. ஸோ இந்த ஐட்டம்ஸ் ஏதாவது உங்களுக்கு சம்மில் கொடுத்தனா அப்போ அது எல்லாத்தையும் ஆட் பண்ணி அந்த நெட் அமௌண்ட் வில் பி யுவர் அவுட் சைட் லைபிலிட்டி தட் ஷுட் பி சப்ராக்டட் ஃப்ரம் த டோட்டல் அசெட் what you have derived it after eliminating those three items such as goodwill, non-trade investment, and fictitious assets. If suppose any of those three is not available, then whatever is given as a total assets, that total assets will be taken as such from that outside liability. Whatever is available in the question, that should be subtracted. That will give you the amount of your capital employed under the asset side approach. Am I making it clear to you? Any doubt as of now?
No, sir. No, sir.
Right. Now coming up to the second method, that is liability side approach. Okay, under this liability side approach, the formula is as follows: capital employed is equal to the value of capital. When I say capital, it is a partner's capital only. Okay, or sometimes they may have given as partner's capital, sometimes they may have given only as capital. So the value of capital, along with it, you should have the amount of reserves. Okay, sometimes reserves will be given the question. If not, reserves will not be available in the question. If reserves are not there, just only capital will be there. In the place of reserve, the value is zero, and followed by that, okay, capital plus reserves, okay, minus the value which are going to be as follows: goodwill, if any, okay, given in the question, okay, followed by that non-trade investments, goodwill, comma, non-trade investments, and your fictitious assets. Okay, so these are things to be eliminated that will give you the capital employed. So capital plus reserves minus goodwill, non-trade investments, and fictitious assets. If you are doing it, you will get the amount of your capital employed under the liability side approach. Now the most important thing, we are using the word reserves. Okay, we are using the word reserves. Like how we had the liabilities, outside liability, reserves are also of various types. So, what are the reserves that you can take into account? First, you should understand the list of reserves what we have. We have something called as general reserve. You have something called as workman
compensation,
compensation reserve, which shortly we call them as WCR. Then you have something called as investment fluctuation reserve, which we call it as IFR. These three are the reserves which you will come across in partnership unit. But apart from that, there are many more reserves which you should understand. One is security premium reserve. This we call shortly as SPR. You will be learning about the security premium reserve when they teach you the topic of share capitals. Okay, accounting for companies, share capital பத்தி teach பண்ணும்போது security premium reserve SPR ங்கிறத learn பண்ணுவீங்க. And then you will have something called as capital reserve. இது இப்போ லேர்ன் பண்ணீங்க. பட் ஈவன் கம்பெனி அக்கௌண்ட்ஸ் படிக்கும் போதும் ஓகே அக்கௌண்டிங் ஃபார் ஷேர்ஸ் அண்ட் டிபென்ச்சர்ஸ் போது கேபிட்டல் ரிசர்வ் பற்றி லேர்ன் பண்ணுவீங்க. Then you have a reserve called as capital redemption reserve, which we call them shortly as CRR. Then you have another reserve called as debenture redemption reserve, which we call them shortly as DRR. So we have n number of reserves, but in your grade 12, these are the list of reserves which we are going to come across in the upcoming chapters and even the forthcoming chapters. Okay, so if there is a reserve, either general or workman compensation, IFR, okay, or any reserve, you can just take them under category and you can club with your capital. That along with that, you will have to subtract the value of goodwill, fictitious assets, outside liability. You will get the amount of your capital employed. Any doubt in this one? See, look at this. For what I'm explaining all this is just to ensure that how you calculate a normal profit. Okay, for normal profit, capital employed is required. These many things you have to search out in the problem whether it is available or not. If available, go directly. If not available, you have to ensure either this method can be applied or that method can be applied because decision making is also a part of accounting. Okay, and then after you get your super profit, okay, because now you use this and you get the normal profit and then you get the super profit. And once a super profit has been derived, you have to use the formula of goodwill. So goodwill is equal to super profit into number of
Yes, purchase.
years purchases. Number of years purchases. If suppose purchases is given for us, the question. If suppose the times is given to us, then it will be as
So profit into
super
number of years time.
profit
So number of
into number of times. So by this, we are concluding that the second method. First, we have discussed the formulas under the average profit. Now we have discussed the formula. Okay, for finding a super profit. So two methods got over out of three methods. Any doubt in these methods so far? In the rest methods,
No,
any
sir.
doubt?
No, sir.
Okay. Now moving on to the third method, that is capitalization method. So capitalization method, under this you have got two subdivisions. Okay, AB. One is capitalization of average profit. So let us first understand how the goodwill is being calculated under this method. So in this method, it is given very clearly this capitalization of average profit. So you must have in the question or you have to derive average profit. So the first step is find out, okay, you have to find out the value of average profit. So just don't blindly go the step, find out average profit. Search out in the question. If the value of average profit is given straight away in the question, then need not go and find out. If at all the question has not given you the value of average profit straight away, then search out in the question whether they are given you the list of years, 3 4 years, or at least 2 3 years. Okay, more than 1 year they could have given, or at least 1 year profit if they are given, then that is your average profit. So using the formula either super simple or weighted average, you'll get your average profit. Once you get your average profit, the second step is you have to find out your capitalized value of the firm or business. The second step is capitalized value of business
business normal.
or firm. Okay, you have to find out the capitalized value of your firm or business. To find out this capitalized value of the firm or business, for this only you use this formula: average profit divided by NRR into 100. Okay, average profit by NRR into 100. Suppose if the question itself has a capitalized value of the firm straight away, then need not substitute in this formula. The amount can be kept as a whole, which will be used towards the last. ஓகே ஸோ ஆவரேஜ் ப்ராஃபிட்டு இருக்கான்னு பாரு, இருந்ததுன்னா ஓகே, இல்லாட்டா கண்டுபிடி. செகண்ட், கேபிட்டலைஸ்ட் வேல்யூ ஆஃப் த ஃபர்ம் ஆர் பிஸ்னஸை கால்குலேட் பண்ணுறது செகண்ட் ஸ்டெப். இதுவும் சம்மில் டைரெக்டாக அவைலபிளாக இருந்ததுன்னா அப்போது அதை யூஸ் பண்ண போகிறோம் டுவர்ட்ஸ் த லாஸ்ட். அப்படி இல்லையா, அதை கண்டுபிடிக்கிறதுக்கு இதான் ஃபார்முலா: ஆவரேஜ் ப்ராஃபிட் பை என்ஆர்ஆர் இன்டூ 100. நவ் கம்ஸ் த தேர்ட் ஸ்டெப். The third step is calculate. Okay, calculate the value of net assets. Okay, calculate the value of net assets, which is nothing but your capital employed. Okay, you have to find out the value of your net assets or capital employed. ஸோ நெட் அசெட்ஸ் ஆர் கேபிட்டல் எம்ப்ளாய்டு ஒன்று டேரெக்டாக சம்மில் கொடுத்துருக்கலாம். அப்படி கொடுக்கலன்னா ஜஸ்ட் கொஞ்ச நேரத்துக்கு முன்னாடி தான் நம்ம சூப்பர் ப்ராஃபிட் மெத்தடில் படித்தோம். அந்த கேபிட்டல் எம்ப்ளாய்டு இல்லை கேபிட்டல் இன்வெஸ்டர் இல்லை நெட் அசெட்ஸை கண்டுபிடிக்கிறதுக்கு அசெட் சைடு அப்ரோச் இல்லை லைபிலிட்டி சைடு அப்ரோச் இருக்குது. அந்த ஃபார்முலா ஏதாவது ஒரு ஃபார்முலா எது அப்ளிகபிளாக இருக்குமோ அதை அப்ளை பண்ணி யூ வில் கெட் த வேல்யூ ஆஃப் யுவர் நெட் அசெட்ஸ் ஆர் கேபிட்டல் எம்ப்ளாய்டு. Any doubt up to this? Okay, so
No,
capital
sir,
employed
no,
on net
sir.
assets. Okay, if available, use them. If not available, derive it. Okay, now comes the fourth step, that is goodwill calculation. So goodwill is equal to, this is the only method where we use a different formula for goodwill. So far, we were using multiplication application for goodwill calculation. So goodwill has been valued, okay, with number of years purchases or times, where you multiply that with your average profit or weighted profit, if not your super profit. But here you will not do the multiplication, you will do the subtraction. In this case alone, this deviation. Okay, so goodwill is equal to the value, okay, capitalized value of the firm or business. Capitalized value of firm or business minus the value of your net assets. ஸோ இதை பண்ணும்போது வரக்கூடியது நம்ம குட்வில். ஓகே, ஸோ எனி டவுட் அப் டு திஸ்? Now, if you don't have any doubt, we are moving on to the last method, that is capitalization of super profit, and I'll give you a special note also. And then today I'll stop it with this because we have learned the concept of goodwill theoretically and the methods of calculating goodwill and the types of goodwill and the formulas that are associated with the goodwill under various methods. So the next session which I'm going to give it will be purely we're going to discuss on the problems. That problems will cover all these methods one after another where it has an adjustment without adjustment. So we are going to cover two problems under each method, and each problem will have something to work it out and something to think about it. Okay, so that will be worked out. Immediately I'll be posting this video in my YouTube also. So for references you can go and verify that, not an issue. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead with the last concept, that is B category, capitalization of super profit. Capitalization of super profit method. Okay, so in this method you are going to follow the same procedure what you have followed in super profit method. Okay, so the same steps you'll be following. First, you have to find out your super profit using the formula, your average profit minus normal profit. Once you have got the super profit, as I said already, if suppose average profit is not available, how to derive it? Then normal profit, if it is not available, then apply the formula, that is capital employed into NRR by 100 and derive them. If capital employed is not given, then check out the problem whether asset side approach can be applied or liability side approach can be applied. Using any one side of approach, derive the value. You may ask me, sir, is there any possibility where in a problem they can give that both the approaches can be applied? Yes, there are some problems where they may just give us both asset side approach details as well as a liability side approach details, so that we will get hang out for a moment. We get confused which method is applicable or which method is okay, what you can say, which method can be applied, so that we get the right answer. If you use any of these two methods, both the method will give you the right answer only. ஓகே, நமக்கு சில ப்ராப்ளம்ஸ் இருக்கு. அங்க பார்த்தீங்கன்னா எக்ஸ்க்ளூசிவா லைபிலிட்டி சைடு அப்ரோச் தான் யூஸ் பண்ற மாதிரி இருக்கும், பிளாக் பண்ணிருப்பாங்க. சில சம்ல பார்த்தோன்னாக்க நமக்கு அசெட் சைடு அப்ரோச் தான் யூஸ் பண்ணி டிரைவ் பண்ற மாதிரி இருக்கும், கேபிட்டல் எம்ப்ளாய் அந்த மாதிரி பிளாக் ஆயிருக்கும். ஒரு சில சம் பார்த்தோன்னாக்க நமக்கு ஓப்பன் சாய்ஸ் கொடுத்துருப்பாங்க. அசெட் சைடோட டீடைல்ஸும் இருக்கும், லைபிலிட்டி சைடு அப்ரோச் டீடைல்ஸும் இருக்கும். ஏதோ ஒரு சைடோட டீடைல்ஸை யூஸ் பண்ணி ஆன்சர் டிரைவ் பண்ணாப்போ உனக்கு கரெக்டாக தான் இருக்கும். ஓகே, அது ஏன்னா நம்மளை கொஞ்சம் சுத்தலில் விடுறதுக்கும் நம்மளை கொஞ்சம் யோசிக்க விடுவாங்க, இது கரெக்டாக தப்பா அப்படின்ட்டு. இஃப் யூ ஆர் கான்ஃபிடென்ட் enough that yes, this is what I have done correct, then no one can stop you from getting set up. Okay, so these are the various permutation and combination of the problems which you can expect, okay, in your examination. So once I got the value of super profit, the goodwill will be calculated in such a way that goodwill is equal to super profit by NRR into 100. Okay,
சார் மோஸ்ட்லி இந்த சம்ஸ் எல்லாமே 1 மார்க் ஆர் 2 மார்க்ல தானே சார் வரும்?
3 to 4 marks வருமா? 3 marks question to 4 marksக்குள்ள கேட்பாங்க, அதுக்கு மேலே எதிர்பார்க்கறாரு. ஓகே, மேக்ஸிமம் 3,
ஓகே
வெரி வெரி worst கேஸ் அந்த 4க்குள்ள வரலாம். ஓகே, பட் 4க்கு மேலே
ஓகே
வரதுக்கு வாய்ப்பே இல்லை. ஓகே,
சார். அப்போ கூட இப்போ 3 மார்க்ஸ்னா இது எல்லாமே கண்டுபிடிக்கிற மாதிரி தானே சார் வரும்? சூப்பர் ப்ராஃபிட், நார்மல் ப்ராஃபிட் எல்லாமே கண்டுபிடிக்கிற மாதிரி தானே?
ஏதாவது ஒரு மெத்தட்ல ஏதாவது ரெண்டு மெத்தட் யூஸ் பண்ணலாம். ஃபார் எக்ஸாம்பிள், யூசிங் வெயிட்டட் ஆவரேஜ் அண்ட் சிம்பிள் ஆவரேஜ் டிரைவ் த வேல்யூ ஆஃப் குட்வில்ங்கிற மாதிரி கொடுக்கலாம். ஓகே, இல்லாட்டினா 4 marksல கூட அந்த மாதிரி ரெண்டு கேட்டகரி கொடுக்கலாம். ஓகே, ஃபைண்ட் அவுட் த வேல்யூ ஆஃப் குட்வில் அப்படிங்கிற மாதிரி இருக்கலாம். இல்லை
ஓகே
கேபிட்டலைசேஷன் மெத்தடில் வந்து யூசிங் கேபிட்டலைசேஷன் ஆஃப் ஆவரேஜ் ப்ராஃபிட் அண்ட் சூப்பர் ப்ராஃபிட் டிரைவ் த வேல்யூ அப்படின்னு சொல்லி கொடுக்கலாம். ஓகே, ஆர் ஒரு சம் இருக்கு, கேபிட்டலைசேஷன் ஆஃப் சூப்பர் ப்ராஃபிட் அண்ட் சூப்பர் ப்ராஃபிட் மெத்தடை பேஸ் பண்ணி குட்வில்லை கண்டுபிடிங்கிற மாதிரி இருக்கும். ஸோ ஏதாவது ரெண்டு மெத்தட் கிளப்பில் கொடுத்தனா அந்த ரெண்டு மெத்தட் கிளப்பிங் வந்து 3 marksக்கும் அப்ளிகபிள் சொல்லலாம். ஈச் மெத்தட் கேன் பி வேலிடேட்டட் ஃபார் 1.5 marks, 1.5 marks. If not, each method can be evaluated for 2 marks, 2 marks. So they can give it as 4 marks. Okay, va? So
Okay.
it is depends upon the criticality. Okay, அதுவே நம்ம ஃபர்ஸ்ட் பார்த்தோம் நம்ம பர்ச்சேஸ் கன்சிடரேஷன் ப்ராப்ளம் ஜேர்னல் என்ட்ரி போடுற மாதிரி அந்த மாதிரி ப்ராப்ளம்ஸ் 3 மார்க்ஸ் தான் கேட்க முடியும். ஏன்னா 2 ஜேர்னல் போடுறீங்க. ஓகே, அதில் முதல் ஜேர்னலுக்கு பார்த்தாக்கா 2 மார்க்ஸ் வெயிட்டேஜ் கொடுப்பாங்க. ஏன்னா அங்கே தான் மெயினாக நீங்கள் கால்குலேட் பண்ணி டிரைவ் பண்ணுறீங்க குட்வில் வருமா இல்லை கேபிட்டல் ரிசர்வ் வருமா அப்படின்ட்டு. ஸோ அதை நீங்கள் டிக்ளேர் பண்ணுறதுக்கு தான் மெயினாக எக்ஸ்ட்ரா 1 மார்க். நார்மலாக நீங்கள் போடுற ஜேர்னலுக்கு 1 மார்க்னாக்க அந்த ஃபைனல் அவுட்புட் குட்வில்லா இல்லை கேபிட்டல் ரிசர்வாக டிரைவ் பண்ணுறதுக்கு 1 மார்க். ஸோ அதனால் முதல் என்ட்ரிக்கு 2 மார்க்கு. செகண்ட் என்ட்ரியை நீங்கள் என்ன பண்ணுறீங்க அந்த பேமெண்ட் பண்ண மாதிரி ஒரு என்ட்ரி போடுறீங்க இல்லையா அதுக்கு 1 மார்க். ஆக மொத்தம் 2 + 1 3 மார்க்ஸ் அப்படின்னு சொல்லி வெயிட்டேஜில் க்ளோஸ் பண்ணலாம். ஓகேவா?
Okay.
ஸோ இது ஃபர்ஸ்ட் கேட்டகரி பர்ச்சேஸ் குட்விலுக்கு. செல்ஃப் ஜென்ரேட் குட்வில் எல்லாம் பார்த்தினாக்க ஓகே 3 இல்லை 4 இந்த காம்பினேஷனில் எதில் வேணாலும் ஃபிட் ஆகும். ஓகேவா? ஆனால் அதுக்கு மேலே போகிறதுக்கு வாய்ப்பு இல்லை, அதுக்கு சான்ஸும் கிடையாது. அப்படி எப்பயாவது வந்துருச்சுன்னா தென் யூ ஆர் வெரி லக்கி enough டு கெட் த set of problems. Okay, you are really a lucky person to get such type of problems. Okay, but don't expect like that. If at all you are getting like that, then you have done some good deeds in your earlier past. Okay,
Okay.
that's so. This is a formula under the capitalization of super profit method. So goodwill is equal to super profit by NRF into 100. Am I making sense to you?
Okay. Yes, sir.
Okay, so with this, I'm stopping this session. I'll be posting this immediately in my YouTube channel. At any point of time, you can go and check as a reference. Okay, so just we have started with the goodwill validation, nature and validation, where we have understood all the concepts. We still have something called as adjustments. Okay, where there are some 5 to 6 items of adjustments we have to understand. In that, some items will be taken up as an add item, some items will be taken up as a less item. That we'll be discussing in the next session. And once we complete that, we'll take up the numerical problems and we'll complete off okay for that in one single shot. So by this,
Okay.
you cannot spend more than 2 hours or maximum like 3 hours is more than enough to do the revision for goodwill, whether you're doing it for your school normal examination or even when you're doing it for your board final examination. This 2 videos of mine will be more than enough to do your okay revision for goodwill. Clear?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, Kana. Thank you.
Sir, and
Yeah,
sir,
tell me, ma. Tell me.
timing, sir, regular classes எப்படி sir? Monday, Friday and Sunday வா இல்லை எப்படி sir?
Yes, we will have it on Monday, Friday, and Sunday. Don't worry. Okay, I'll be giving you a correct update on the timings. Okay, timing alone, you just wait because as the other physical mode students, they have to settle down. Okay, they have to come up from some different area. Okay, so I was waiting for them. That's why I couldn't able to start by 4 o'clock. Okay, I just thought of starting by 4:15, but they came by 4:30 only. Okay, that's the reason we had little bit delay. But going further, I ensure that we stick out to the timing as what we are committed. Okay, if it is on Monday and Wednesday, 8 o'clock to 9:30 means 8 to 9:30. Okay, and on Sunday, if it is a morning session, it's morning. If it is an evening session, it's in the evening. Okay, we'll stick on to the timing quite strictly. Okay, this is the first time as
Okay.
we got a little bit delay, but going further, this delay will not be there from my end. I ensured very clearly, and even if they
Okay.
come late, the physical student, if they come late, they'll have to just start up from the place where it's going on. The rest they have to go and just watch it from the YouTube video, the beginning sessions, whatever they missed out. Okay, so this I
Okay,
made
sir.
very clear. Okay, to all my physical and online students. Thank you, Ken.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.